I get through cutting your bitch ass down on neighborhood Crip. I'm a nigga that walk up, either beat you down or gun you down, which is what I would prefer, because I was good with both, you know, but especially I prefer to beat a bitch ass coward nigga down that would do a drive-by, especially and kill and hit an innocent little kid. That's what makes it bad for the Crips and the Bloods on the whole gangbanging tip, and that's why the white man is cracking down right now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Wow! Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out and leave a comment and a like. If you support me, support the content, support the Go Up movement. This story, as you can see, is about Space Ghost from neighborhood 90 Crip. Space Ghost right now, I believe, is about 60 years old, serving a life sentence for an unaliving. Let's get into it. Space Ghost came around in the 70s and 80s to South Central Los Angeles to the 90s. They didn't really take to him when he first came around. I don't know, perhaps thinking that maybe he was a bit arrogant, a bit too big for his britches, as he had aspirations from the beginning of becoming a reputable, feared gang member. But someone did take to him in the 90s, and that was Big Miz from 90 Crip. Big Miz was a prominent member, well known, well respected, and he gave Space Ghost his stamp of approval. And if Big Miz said he was okay, then damn it, he was okay. So Space Ghost, he was in. He was in the 90s. And he was putting in work. And he used to tell Big Miz that he had aspirations of becoming a knockout artist. He didn't have aspirations, as far as I know, of becoming a professional fighter, but he certainly wanted to put in work about the Los Angeles area, inside the Los Angeles County Jail and out there on the streets. He wanted to be feared and known as someone who would knock you out. So he began to train, and he began to knock people out about the Los Angeles area. And his legend and his reputation, it began to grow. In fact, there are stories of him clearing out modules with Babu from 90 Crip back in the 80s. And yes, he even had some fights with some Hoovers. And from my understanding, he unequivocally won those fights. His legend was growing as a knockout artist and someone not to be played with.
My mama niggas know about Big Space Ghost from West Side 90, better known as the knockout artist from neighborhood Crip, Rich Road. The Korean lady that owned the t-shirt store in the Slauson swap meet, if she remember me, this black image, she'll say what she said then. Oh, you fight very well. You fight very well. Who is you? Oh, your arms are very big. Oh, neighborhood 90 Crip.
In fact, one time he got into it, the story goes, with the Long Beach Insane Crips. And that he was putting in so much work with the tool, with the weapon, with the gun, that the Insanes thought that they was at war with the 60s. He was coming through so much, just him and his family, Space Ghost. According to the story, lighting up the Insanes, that they thought that the whole 60 car was coming through, putting in work on them. But the whole time, it was just Space Ghost. So he was not only known as a knockout artist, but someone who would pull the trigger as well. And his legend was growing, and he was becoming a very feared and reputable gang member from neighborhood 90 Crip. Space Ghost, he was involved with a woman named Alicia Sibley. It was his baby mother. In fact, he had 2 kids with her. They had an on-again, off-again relationship that had been around since 1992. So for 20 years, they were on again and off again. But according to all involved, Space Ghost really saw her, Alicia, as his woman and his woman only. And that if he could have her, no one could have her. And on September 26, 2012, Space Ghost, he went to his friend Damian Wilson's house. And over there, his friend Damian Wilson, he happened to show him pictures of Alicia on Facebook with a new man named Randall Hill. In these posts on Facebook, Alicia was alluding to this new guy, Randall Hill, as her best friend and future husband. This incensed Space Ghost. He became enraged and irate. He called Alicia up and told her that he had $500 for her for their son's birthday. It's unclear to me. Other people have speculated, but I will not hear whether or not this call for the $500 was a setup. Whether he had made this call after he seen the Facebook post or before and was legitimately going to take her $500. And then he saw the Facebook post and then lost it, changed his plans. I'm unclear. One thing is clear. He told her that he had $500 for her and to meet up. She agreed, eager to give the $500 for her child. And so they met up later on that day in an alley on Slauson Avenue. Alicia, she pulled up in her truck. And Space Ghost, he caught the bus. And he went and sat in the truck with Alicia right there in the alley. And they had sex. So everything was going okay at first. And then he confronted Alicia with the Facebook post. He had made copies with Damian Wilson, his friend, of the Facebook post to take to Alicia and confront her with the stone cold evidence that, as far as he was concerned, she was committing infidelity. That she was his girl and his girl only. How dare you make posts about another man referring to him as your future husband? After he confronts her with the post, an argument ensues. Apparently, the argument was very violent and acrimonious because it certainly devolved into violence as Space Ghost took out a knife and stabbed Alicia 59 times in the neck, the shoulder, the arms, the hands, and even her calf. She had a tattoo on her calf of this new guy, Randall. She had his name tattooed on her calf muscle. And Space Ghost cut that out. Or he cut the tattoo that was on her calf with the other guy's name on it. So he stabbed her 59 times, violently, obviously, and viciously. He then put her in the trunk of her own car, the truck. And then he drove the truck with his baby mother's body in there, Alicia, to his friend, Damian Wilson's house. The same friend whose house he was over earlier that had showed him the Facebook post. And when he drove the car to his friend's house, he went inside and told Damian Wilson what he had just done. He told him that Alicia was out there in the trunk, deceased. He asked to use Damian Wilson's phone. His friend said that his phone had died. Damian Wilson gave him the phone. And Space Ghost then took the phone, went outside to the truck, opened up the trunk with Alicia's dead body in there, and took 3 pictures of her in the trunk, all bloody and deceased. So I'm not sure why he took these pictures. The next day, Damian Wilson was on the bus, his friend. And Damian Wilson inexplicably decided to show the pictures to people on the bus and tell everyone that his friend, Space Ghost, had just unalived his baby mother. Look, I have proof. Here's the pictures. He showed the bus driver the pictures that Space Ghost had took of his baby mother being deceased right there in the car. There happened to be an undercover cop right there on the bus who caught wind of what was going on. And the rest is history. They went and arrested Space Ghost for the unaliving of his baby mother. A lot of this is public information, as Space Ghost eventually admitted to what had transpired. I believe that perhaps he was trying to get a crime of passion, because he explained to the authorities that he had saw the Facebook post and had lost it, and that he confronted Alicia with the Facebook post. He said that they had had a volatile relationship, their entire relationship, that throughout the duration of their relationship, that Alicia at one point had stabbed him and tried to run him over with their own car. I don't know if he was saying this to say that he was in fear of his life, self-defense. I don't believe so. He was just saying that that's the sort of relationship that they had, a volatile one, an unpredictable, precarious, violent relationship, replete with domestic violence, that they went back and forth at each other's throat all of the time. And he said that when he saw the Facebook post with her, with another man, that he lost it. That when he confronted her with it and she began to argue with him, that he lost control and that he did indeed stab her. They have something called a crime of passion. Whereas, let's say you come into the home and find your wife in bed with another man and you unalive both of them. You could possibly get a crime of passion, meaning that something happened right then and there and you lost it. It was more spontaneous. It wasn't premeditated. Space Ghost defended himself in court. He was his own lawyer. And as the saying goes, anyone who defends himself has a fool for a client. And his defense was unsuccessful. He was eventually found guilty of the brutal unaliving of Alicia Sibley. And he was sentenced to 26 years to life in prison, where he resides to this day. And this crime happened again September 26, 2012, and he remains in prison. And that's the story of Space Ghost from neighborhood 90 Crip. By all accounts, a strong, legendary guy, a knockout artist of sorts, someone who had fear and respect in the streets of South Central Los Angeles, California. Coming up, Nico Jenkins, and the possibly freakish P. Diddy. Stay free, people!